For better or for worse, the Haslams like to tinker with the sports franchises they own. Anyone who pays attention to the Browns knows this all too well. But wait, you say, this video is about the Crew and their logo. Well, don't worry, we'll get to that. But I want to put the Crew's misguided rebrand in a better context. So you have a guy like Jimmy Haslam, who is known to show up for and even contribute to day-to-day meetings about football game plans and strategies that most owners don't bother attending. D. Haslam is also very heavily involved with how the business side of the Browns is conducted. If there's one thing you can't accuse the Haslams of, it's being apathetic towards their product. It turns out the same can be said about their approach to team branding. On February 24th, 2015, less than only 3 years after purchasing the Browns, they decided that the team needed a new look, starting with a new logo. So here's what their logo was, and here's what it was changed to and still is to this day. One thing you'll immediately notice is that it's the same logo, but it looks like it kind of got left in the sun for too long. But whatever, big deal. The real assault on the eyes of Browns fans, besides the play on the field in 2015, would come with the unveiling of the new uniforms in the same year. These were not well liked by anyone really. Fans of other teams thought they were ugly, Browns fans thought they were ugly, even the Browns organization ended up thinking that they were ugly by the end of it. So much so that they asked the NFL if they could use their color rush jerseys for home games in 2019. And the NFL, which is usually pretty strict about how many times a team can wear alternate uniforms, let them do it without really any resistance. The new uniforms were scrapped in 2020, which was the soonest allowable by the way, for pretty much a return to what they used to look like before 2015 to never be trotted out again. I wish I could say that the Haslams use this as a learning experience to not mess with things that are fine just the way they are in their future rebranding endeavors. When the Haslams bought the Columbus Crew from Anthony Precourt in late 2018, it was a huge PR win for them with Crew fans. The team was headed to Austin before Anthony Precourt's incompetence, a grassroots effort to keep the team in town, and an obscure law that, ironically, was created after Art Modell moved to the Browns led to the Haslams finalizing the deal to keep the Crew where it belongs. While the mere mention of the name Anthony Precourt is enough to bring back Crew fans' worst memories, one decent thing that hung around was the crest that the Crew had been sporting since 2014, and its place in the Crew's identity seemed to be set in stone after they won their second MLS Cup with it on their chests in 2020. The very next season, it would be all too apparent that the Haslams were ready for something different. It all started with a report from the Columbus Dispatch claiming that the team was considering changing its colors and name altogether, but this report would be denied after extreme fan backlash. Crisis averted. However, it was confirmed that there would be some sort of rebrand coming for the Crew, and as it turns out, the focal point of that rebrand would be a complete overhaul of the team crest. Why the Haslams and the Crew front office would choose to change anything about a team immediately after winning their first pro championships as owners of that team is beyond me. Nobody was asking for this. As much as we hated Precourt, nobody took it out on the crest. The saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, must have went in one ear and out the other for the Haslams when it came to team imaging. This is already a bad idea, and I haven't even talked about the final result yet. Well, I've put it off long enough, and here it is. Yep. This is it. This is what they came up with, in all of its unnecessary, unwanted glory. When this was revealed, it received an immediate and heavy negative response from local fans and national observers alike. Most fans voiced their displeasure on social media, others taking it even further, saying they would refuse to buy any club merch with the new crest on it. It was a disaster all around. The new crest was also accompanied by the team changing its official name to Columbus SC, with the Crew being downgraded to a nickname, another unpopular move with the fan base. The worst part of all this might be is that they were told that this would blow up in their face. The Nordeca, the Crew's devoted fan group that gives so much free time and effort to the club, put together a 16-page report for the Crew front office, basically detailing that the reaction to this change would be mixed at best. But by the time they were presented with the rebrand materials, it was already too far down the road. It was and is another example of the Haslams going out of their way to mess with something that should have been left alone. They did end up changing the name back to Columbus Crew and replaced the Dingleberry Triangle with 96, the club's founding year, after a week of angry fans complaining, rightfully so, about how much this sucked. But they weren't reverting back to the old crest no matter how much we voiced our displeasure. While fan backlash lasted quite a while, you probably won't see much online anymore. It's been more than a year at this point, and we as fans don't really want to scream and yell about this thing that isn't going to change no matter what anymore. We still don't really like it, and some have even managed to keep up their boycott of any new merch, but we've grown to accept reality. I sure would like to see the 2014 crest come back, or maybe even the campy yet endearing original logo. Maybe if the Crew can win another MLS Cup, the Haslams will decide that this toy of theirs needs another fresh coat of paint, and they come up with something that's better by default. I guess that's what happens when you invest your emotions into something that's owned by tinkerers. Whether you like what they do, or you hate what they do with it, it'll be tinkered with again before long. If you stuck around, thank you for watching. If you liked it and would like to see more, please feel free to like and subscribe. Let me know what you thought of this video in the comments as well. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you with the next one.